So the purpose of the Hyper-V was to suppose we have our own laptop and we wanted to put or we wanted to run some other image on that. So there were two options to it. The one is that we bifurcate our disk, say from C and D, and then we deploy some image on the D and we keep using our C drive. So we can put say Linux on say our one drive and say Windows on our another drive. So that way we can easily put our things and we will be able to use the Linux or the Windows while the computer boots. So that is one way. But if we are doing it, we have we have various type of limitations. That first of all, we are dividing our disk. So which means that the parent disk will be having a lesser capacity. Second is at the time, at any point in time, we can only use one. We can't switch it very smoothly from one to other. Third problem was that it is even more resource intensive, in the sense that suppose if we wanted to have say two machines, sorry, two operating system, till then it is okay. But in case if we wanted to put say server on it, so our laptop do not have that capacity. Similarly, suppose we wanted to have a kind of full end-to-end network and lot of disk and the databases and all those things associated with it, definitely we need a large volume of the disk. So to overcome all those challenges, we started using Hyper-V, because Hyper-V was comparatively better option, and we were able to start. We were able to use our native operating system very smoothly from just by switching from the from the Hyper-V OS to the to our native OS. But Hyper-V was also taking a pretty much bulk space, and that's where but that was the time when we were not having any other option. But now we know that we have the cloud. And what is cloud? What is the concept of the cloud? What is the concept of the Azure? This all these things we have already covered in our fundamentals, so I'm not going to repeat the same. If you are having any doubt about that, or in case if you have not done the fundamentals, then I request you to go through the recorded sessions first. Now, so we started using VM, and that too into cloud. Now every cloud is having the same concept, except that the namings are different, and some of the conventions and some of the properties are different, but more or less concept is same. So for example, in Azure we have the VM, and which is the standard naming convention, but say for example AWS is having EC2, so that is also VM, but the the name is different. So if we understand one thing very clearly, we will be able to understand other things also without much effort. But during our fundamentals, we have discussed about how Azure is making a kind of lot of market, and it's a kind of, although it started very late as compared to AWS, but it is it's capturing market very fast, and also it has in some of the spaces like the data centers and like its capabilities and like its marketplace and all those things, it is even turning to be the first option, of course because of the Microsoft back. And Microsoft is like in the industry from very long, and it has its profound strong space. So everywhere people try to compete with Microsoft, but ultimately we are switching back, right? So that that's a trend, and this trend we have seen quite a lot. Now coming to VM. So VM are just like Hyper-V, and this is a IaaS option, which is in infrastructure as a service option of the virtualized servers, but it has even more than virtualized servers. So you can customize all of the software running on the VM, and there are several different things which which you can't think if you are using the Hyper-V. For example, the managed option. So all the managed options which Microsoft provides, for example, managed disk in our in our VM case, or virtual network, or managed network. So there are different things which Microsoft provides, even though it is an IaaS option. We will discuss about them moving forward. Now, virtual machines are software emulation of the physical computer. They include a virtual processor, they include virtual memory, they include virtual storage, and of course, the virtual networking resources. So when we are talking about a VM, we are not just only talking about VM. We are also talking about various other things from VM point of view. So, for example, if we are using VM, we are also talking about various other things. Okay. So that is point number one, that we are not just talking about a machine, we are also talking about various things. Okay. And everything is virtualized. Okay. Now, coming to the next. So VM hosts an operating system that we know from edges, from the virtual machine concept. And you can install and run software like a physical computer. When using a remote desktop client, you can use and control the VM as if you are sitting in front of it. So that ways you will be able to directly interact with your machine just by using remote control, remote desktop. So you might have seen how people are using Citrix. So Citrix is another way. So on Citrix, most of the clients are using Citrix from years now, and they know that users need to connect with a VPN, and after connecting to the VPN, you can go to the Citrix and you can start using the machine of the client the way you want, and that too, and that each Citrix give you a a special provision that you can think of that it is your own computer. So in your company, you might be having, say, 1,000 employees, and everyone can think of that it is my computer. I'm having my storage. I'm putting my files in that. I'm running the software which are, which are preloaded, and that's how I'm doing it. So that is the way of life right now. So similarly, with VM, once you configure and install a VM and do everything, afterwards you will be able to access it in the same way using, if in case if you are putting it's a Windows machine, you will be able to use the RDP and you will be able to access it. Now with Azure Virtual Machine, you can create and use the VM in the cloud. Virtual machine provides the infrastructure, as I said, the in the infrastructure as a service such as IaaS, and can be used in different ways. When you need a total control over the operating system and environment, VM are the ideal choice, because VM give you the options in the form of IaaS, and that's where you will be able to have a total control on the operating system and environment. So just like a physical computer, so you can think of that it is your own computer, and you will be able to have a full control on the operating system and environment. And in case if you screw something up, that's your headache. So Microsoft will not take care of it. You need to take care of it. So if you are playing it with badly, then you are responsible. If you are playing it with nicely, you enjoy it. So that is how it is. Now, an Azure VM give you the flexibility of virtualization without having to buy and maintain the physical hardware that runs the VM. You still need to configure, update, and maintain the software that runs on the VM. So that is the beauty of it. Now, you can create and provision a VM in minutes. It doesn't take much time, and we will see it how we will be able to quickly create VM without any time. Okay, but we will reach to that situation um, uh, once after we understand all the concepts of it. Okay, but today only I will not take you through all the concepts. Today only I'll give you a quick glimpse that how you will be able to create VM in just 5 minutes. Okay, it doesn't take any time, but that is not our, I mean, we will be able to use it, we will be able to create it, but when we are talking in terms of organizations, we don't create things in that way. It is good that okay, we can create it and we can use it. Suppose in case, suppose, and it is as good as if we are using our laptop. Okay, so we will be able to do it, and I will show you how within say within say 5-10 minutes period of time. But so and I think that will be helpful for the people those who are coming from the batch one, because they are waiting for it for a pretty long period of time, and they have heard a lot of theory. So so I believe that definitely they will enjoy. I know that they and it's my this thing, and also because of the new problem of the Azure, we know that we have we have been patiently waiting for today's date when we can do some practical, right? So I know for it. So you guys might be having a kind of smile on on your face. I can just visualize, but yes. So let us do it. Okay, so I'll not keep you waiting anymore. Okay, so that is one thing. Okay, now let us, okay, so with VM are the ideal choice with with total control of your operating system and the ability to run the custom software, whatever software you want, and for the custom hosting configurations. Now, when to use VM and how to build VM, let us take a quick look on this. So in case if you are trying to build a VM, you can use it for testing and development, when running application in the cloud, when extending your data centers to the cloud, during disaster recovery also you can use your VM and move to the cloud with VM. So if you want to migrate from your on-premise to the cloud, you will be able to do that, right? Similarly, you will be able to scale VM in the Azure. But the fundamental concept of it is that your VM need a reason. Without a reason, you will not be able to create it. Okay, so your VM need a reason. Let me highlight it. Okay, so this is a must. Okay, then availability sets or availability zone, either of it. So either availability set or availability zone. This again is a must. And then after that, you can create a VM. Forget about fault domain as of now. We will discuss it later on. But these are the two things which are important: reason and availability zone, or availability sets. And then you are having your managed disk. Okay, so this is how you will be able to create your VM. Okay, but the thing which I explained you in the morning, that before we go to anything, we need to create what we need to create. I explained you for the people, those who have attended, so our morning session. Quickly type it on. What we need? We need a subscription. Yes. What else we need? Be quick. Resource group. Yes. So resource group is a must. Subscription definitely needed, right? So resource group is a must. Now I'm going to take you through the Azure portal. And each time when I'm starting with this portal, I always thank for the person who is going, who contributed for it. So I would like to thank Venkat, who contributed for it, right? So thank you, Venkat. You are making the life easy for all of us, right? So similarly, next time we will decide that who will, or you among yourself decide that who will be able to contribute next. Okay. But right now, for at least for 15 days, next 15 days, you need not to worry because we have this portal with us. Okay. Now, so first of all, in the morning, I explained you that we need a resource group. And what is the purpose of resource group? That also we discussed, right? So from that point of view, now again, we need to create a resource group because we have deleted the resource group in the morning, right? So now we are creating a resource group. So when we are creating a resource group, before that, so there are two ways to it. One is that you can create a resource group explicitly, or you can create a resource group implicit. So let me find out resource group. So the moment if I'm checking for the resource group, it says create it. Okay. Now subscription is our free trial, which we are using it. Resource group, what resource group we wanted to create it. So let's, for an example, I'm just using my name and then VM. Okay. Thanks, Shikha. Are you able to see it? Okay. Okay, great. So we are creating a resource group. Okay. So we are in the, I just selected for create a resource and then resource group. And then we are on this page. Okay. Now we just need to put a name of it, and then we need to select a reason. So as I said, that without reason, we can't even create a resource group. So we are selecting a reason. Once we will select the reason, after that, it's, it will be a way to go. So suppose that out of it, so ideally in a practical situation of our business, we always create the reason either specific to your client or your organization, where they want, what is their business need. Either that is our point, or we create a reason, or we select a reason which is closest to us, our demography. So that will help us to reach out to that particular resource, or to access that particular resource easily, and to avoid the latency. So that is always be the concept, and always keep this in mind. But right now we are just, because we are doing just a quick practical, so I'm just selecting anything random. Okay, and this, since this is the first option, so I selected it. Next is coming to the tag. What is the purpose of the tag? It has been explained you during your fundamentals, but and also we discussed it in the morning. So I'm not going to discuss it again, but now let me quickly put a tag saying that maybe say department. Okay. And then say if I'm putting development department. Review and create. Yes, this is what we wanted to create. So create it. We have created our resource group. This is the way how you can create a resource group in an explicit way. Now you are going for a virtual machine. Okay. So you are creating it. So quickly, I wanted to show you how quick it is to create a virtual machine. So suppose if I'm selecting my resource group, which I just created, Girish VM, and I'm putting the name of the virtual machine. So assume that if I'm creating it VM1. Now, automatically, it says US East. Okay. But here if you want, you can choose something else also. But ideally, the purpose of the creating of the resource group was that you put resources either for the same location, particular usage, right? So if you have a particular usage of it, you can create a resource group from that point of view. You can also create a resource group based on your location or based on your costing, right? So you will be able to create it. Now here you see very clearly that free service eligible is here, here, here. So wherever you are getting this free service eligible, right? That is where you can select it in, while using your free trial, okay? Free trial subscription. Otherwise, it is going to cost you, okay? So always make use of it wherever you are having the free service eligible. Coming to the next option, that is what I said, availability zone, availability sets, and virtual machine skill set. Forget about virtual machine skill set as of now. Just focus on the availability zone, even not to the availability set. I'll explain you later. Later on. So I'm just quickly selecting it. So it is already default. I'm not going to discuss it. What is availability zone? Let me just quickly create it. My objective is that how soon we are able to create it. Okay. So I'm just selecting a small disk Windows Server because I don't want much cost to it. And then so the size will automatically come. Okay. Azure Spot instances, I don't care. The size is currently unavailable in the East US. It is saying very clearly. So I am saying that see all sizes. What size is available? It says size not available. Unfortunately, so I need to go back and see what is available. So I'm selecting something else. So maybe instead of East US, I can go for this one, and then I will see that if the size is available. West US also, the size is not available. It is all blank. No, one thing is available. I think this is the one which is available. Oops. Okay. So this size is available. Okay. So just randomly I'm selecting it. But when you are making the decision, you need to be very cautious. Now quickly, I'm giving it as a name. Say root admin. I'm selecting a password here. I am just putting a password to verify, and then I don't want anything. I'm just selecting this RDP port, and that's all. Just I'm clicking on. Even I'm not bothering about this or anything else. I'm just clicking create and review because my objective was, it says validation failed. Required information is missing or not valid. Okay. Tags. It is loading. So last time what we thought was department was the tag, if I remember correctly, because it is taking time to load. And then I think the value was dev. Anything else on the networking side? No. Management side? Disable? Okay. So the pricing is coming as this much INR per hour, but because our free trail, so we can, I think, use it. So I'm just trying to create it. Let me see that if the validation is good. Yes. So now it is saying deployment is in progress. That means we just took hardly few minutes and your Azure is automatic, Azure will create your VM and this VM will be available for us to work. Okay. So you can think of how quick it is to set up your VM. It doesn't take time, but you can think of that earlier, if you were supposed to install an operating system after putting up the Hyper-V, you know how much time it was taking, right? So suppose your Windows operating system installation of your operating system takes say 1 hour, 1.5 hours, sometime more. You have to keep waiting till that patiently, right? And I have experienced a lot those days when we were supposed to create the operating system and set up the things and all those things, right? So now you see how it is, how quick it is that your deployment is complete and you are able to use it, right? Now, although there are some glitches over here, you will not be able to directly use it until you will do some of the things. But what I'm saying is that now your resource is ready, so you can do the RDP and you will be able to use it. Now I will show you the kind of problem which you will be facing in case if you are doing the RDP with this with this machine, and how you will be able to do the RDP with this machine which we have created. But right now you think of that, okay, how much time it is taking or how quick it is to create a VM, right? So you are not acquiring a machine, you are not acquiring a physical machine. You simply selected operating system, you are not giving payment for it, right? Your payment is coming, overall payment is coming 18 rupees some paisa, some INR per hour. With that you will be able to use it, right? So per hour cost is very small and you will be able to use it, right? So in case if you wanted to play with it, you can play with it. You have installed a server operating system onto it, right? And it is available for you. So you are not, in case if you are going for a server machine, at least in normal cases, you need to pay minimum 1 lakh, right? And then you are supposed to pay for your everything, But here you are just selecting a, you are selecting an image and you can quickly go for it, right? Any questions so far? I'm looking into chat. Okay, good, very good. Okay, so everybody is saying no. Now let us see that how, where is that, where is this particular resource? So you are clicking on it and you can see that your resource is here. Okay, your resource is here. How you will be able to access this resource? Using your public IP. So this is the public IP which Microsoft has provided, and with the help of it, you will be you will be able to access this resource from RDP, right? So that is one thing. Now, in case if you are trying to do it, then what it says, let us ensure that your RDP is working fine. Sorry, your machine is working fine. So what you will do is you will go and connect with your RDP. Okay. And when you when you will try for this, it will just ensure that it will just validate that whether machine is up and running, it is not having any problem. So you can test your connection with it. Okay. And you can say, yes, it is from my IP. So my IP is this, and you will be able to create it. So yes, you want SSH, you want this, this thing, and you will be able to check your connection. So instead of SSH, I think we should have seen, yes, RDP. RDP is your remote desktop, right? So with your remote desktop, you will be able to connect with your um, machine as if you are connecting from your Citrix. So you might have used the Citrix. But for Citrix, you need a VPN. For RDP, you don't need a VPN. You will be able to connect to to this machine which you are using RDP. And maybe in our next session, we will be able to see how we will be able to use that RDP. Okay, because right now it's already 6:30, so we are at the top of the hour. But here today, my objective was to show you that how quickly you are able to create a VM, and you don't need to pay much, right? And you will be able to check it. And with the connection string, I'm just trying to explain you that whether the machine which you have created, where do you have the connection with it or not? So are you able to ping to your machine from your IP to that machine? If the machine is not live, certainly you will have a problem, right? So with the help of it, you are just, you are able to just create it. Now you see, it says that it is throwing this error. And what it says, that deny all bound. So the network connectivity blocked by, by the security group. So when this machine got created, it also has a security group, and that security group is saying deny all bound. Deny all inbound. So that's where, because of your security group, you are not able to connect with with machine, and we will see it later how you will be able to resolve it. Okay, but now you can see that your machine is up, your machine is good, and you will be able to connect to it, but your security group is not allowing you right now. Okay, so with this, for today, before we end up, before we end the session, I think now it's a kind of good start, and I would like to thank all of you for this, and remain in our group. And also I request Ravi to help you for or he will be able to show you in our next meeting maybe how you will be able to connect to the, to the LinkedIn, and how you will be able to raise your request for the, for our group. Okay. Thank you, Ravi. Thank you so much. So if there is no question, can we, can we wrap up the call? Yes. I think you already have an invite, Shikha, but I know that you haven't got, yes, your, sorry, I forgot your ID. You have pasted it. I'm going to add you on that. Okay. I took your ID, email ID, and I'm going to send it. Okay. So we are having it on alternate days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. In case if we don't have any vacation or holiday or anything, then we are having it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday time. Okay. So this is for Kusuma. Thank you, Ravi. So guys, please, please note down these two things, the two URLs which Ravi has given. Okay. See you. Bye. I'm just ending the session now.